What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are in Navasota, Texas on a wide open road reviewing a 2015 Audi S3. I have driven one of these on the channel before, and I thought it was a very fun and capable little car, but not exactly something I wanted to be on a back road with. But let's see if that holds true the second time around. The owner, Christian, bought this pre-modified, and the previous owner actually built this as a dual-duty daily and track car, which is an interesting choice because this is not the first car that comes to mind when I think about a dual-duty daily and track car. And I think part of that is simply because of the stigma around Audi. Outside of their R8 supercar, for a while they haven't really been known for making truly driver-focused enthusiast vehicles. But when you really look at it objectively, the 8V generation Audi S3 is essentially a rebadged Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf R. This uses the same MQB platform as the Mark 7, which most enthusiasts consider an excellent driver's car. And this has a similar quattro all-wheel drive system. This doesn't have a manual transmission option though. A 6-speed dual clutch is your only choice. But we do get some niceties over the Golf R, including adaptive dampers as standard. This is also a bit heavier at 3,450 pounds, given it's a more luxurious product, even though it has less interior space since it is a sedan after all. Here in the US, we never got the wagon version. It is quite an efficient car though, 23 miles per gallon in the city, 31 highway. You can expect high 20s in mixed driving. But here's the really interesting part. Market value for this generation S3 is around $12,000 at the low end to around $20,000 for a really nice low mileage example. That's about the same as a Mark 7 Golf R. In my quick search, I found quite a few examples of the S3, whereas the Golf R, you could find them, but in general, the Audi seems to be the more common car. In terms of mods, we have 034 Motorsports Dynamic Plus springs, Dynamic Plus ball joints, some upgraded EBC Bluestuff front pads, Yellowstuff rear pads, Accelera 651 sport tires, so not a very sticky tire. They're 235s all around, on BBS CH-R 18-inch wheels. We also have a Cobb Accessport installed, running 93 Texas fuel, because yes, Texas has 93. I'm so jealous of that, being a Californian myself. E30 tune as well. I'm not sure what fuel this is currently running, but this is definitely making more power than stock. Strut front suspension, multi-link rear, just like the Mark 7 Golf R. Interior is definitely nicer than the Golf. Everything just looks a bit more upscale in typical Audi versus Volkswagen fashion. I love the 4 rings for the air vents. It's still definitely an entry-level product in terms of the interior fit and finish. Let's get this fired up. Now, apparently, a common issue with these cars is that this infotainment display develops pretty sizable cracks. That's really unfortunate, but we can still use it. So you can see here we have an individual mode, and I've set it so that the engine, transmission, dampers, and engine sound are all in the most aggressive dynamic setting, but steering is in comfort. It's either comfort or dynamic, and in dynamic mode, it's so heavy for absolutely no reason because this EPS does not have that much feedback. So with that, we'll put it into manual mode. Well, that's weird. It upshifted automatically. Oh yeah, this is a quick car, no doubt. This 6-speed dual clutch, despite only being a 6-speed, the gearing is still close enough to where you're always in the power band. This is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine that was rated at 292 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque when stock. EA888 engine code. It's an engine that's been used in so many different cars, and while it's not the most characterful engine, it does make a lot of low-end and mid-range torque. There's very little turbo lag. In fact, this was one of the first turbocharged 4-cylinder engines that made peak torque at something like 2,000 RPM. And I know this because I had a 2011 Audi A3, the prior generation that was based on the same platform as the Mark 6 Golf, and that had this engine in a lesser state of tune. It also had a manual transmission that was not very good and an open differential with front-wheel drive. This S3 is on a completely different level than my old A3 in terms of performance. The brake pedal of this car is very confidence inspiring in the canyons, or on a windy road at least. Here's something I don't like about this car, the transmission tuning. Even though I have it in manual mode, in dynamic for engine and transmission, it'll still downshift automatically if I go foot to the floor. It just assumes I want to be in the lowest possible gear that still gives me good acceleration. I don't like it when manufacturers assume I want something. If I put it in manual mode, I want to control it manually. These adaptive dampers doing a good job soaking up the bumps and keeping the body nice and flat. The steering, it's pretty dead in terms of feedback. Not much coming through about the road surface at all, and even mid-corner, you don't really feel the front tires. Very quick downshift there. The corner entry behavior, it does feel a little bit nose heavy, but corner exit, this thing just puts the power down and hooks up. Yeah, it's just so effortless. I think that's the way I would describe driving this car in general. It's just, alright, a little bit of lag there. It's just so easy to drive quickly. The way I would sum up this car is that if you don't necessarily prioritize having at the limit driving dynamics, you don't care about going sideways on throttle or getting lift off, oversteer, and that sort of thing, and you don't really care too much about having an extremely connected analog feel, but if you do want just effortless performance and the ability to bomb down a road quicker than just about anything else, sub $50,000 I would say, then the S3 might just be the car for you. It feels more upscale than most other hot hatches, and the fact that you have this super quick shifting dual clutch transmission is definitely a pro for a daily driver. It's quick, it's smooth. I just wish the manual mode actually meant it was manual. See right there, I wanted to just lean on the mid-range torque because I know this engine has a lot, but it downshifted to third gear instead. Super confidence inspiring brake pedal. That initial bite is strong but not overly sensitive. I think Audi did a solid job at tuning the brake feel of this car. And the all-wheel drive traction means you can drive this in any condition. It's a Haldex based all-wheel drive, so front biased. Of course, it only sends power to that rear axle when it detects slip. So yeah, this is not going to be the most thrilling car to drive at the limit, but on a road like this, frankly, I don't care. Oh yeah. I'm bombing down this road so much more quickly than even that E92 M3 I was just driving an hour ago. I think Audi did a great job with the electronic damper tuning of this car. There are a few little squeaks and rattles. I think something is coming from this moonroof here. Almost 3,500 pounds. It's not a lightweight car despite having diminutive dimensions. I wonder if there's a way to make this engine sound better. I do hear the blow-off valve when I lift off, but just not the most inspiring engine sound. But again, it's a 4-cylinder turbo. You can't expect too much. What you can expect though is just that seamless power delivery through the rev range. It'll rev out to about 6,500 RPM, and then you can always back it off, use the drive select button to put it into comfort mode. Unfortunately, there is some road noise here, but I think part of that could just be due to the Accelera tires. If this was available as a hatchback here in the US, it would be so much more appealing. Just the fact that you lose all that extra cargo capacity with a sedan. I don't know what Americans have against hatchbacks and wagons. They're just the best, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about the 8V generation Audi S3. In what scenario might you choose this over the Volkswagen Golf R? For about the same money, do you think losing the cargo capacity of the Golf R and the ability to get a manual transmission is worth the sort of more upscale interior and having that Audi badge. So big shout out to Christian. Let me know your thoughts on the Audi S3. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.